Hello friends! Today we're gonna do a manga wrap up for the months of June and July. I've been really behind on these and you know, it's fine. I'm just talking about what I've been reading recently. Did not read a ton in June and July. I don't know what it was. I was actually sick for you know, a good portion of June, so that's probably why. I did read 28 volumes of manga, both digital and physical, in the months of June and July. So like total, not each, total. Let's go ahead and go into it. And I'm just gonna go down my Notion list. So this is gonna be in no sort of order. The first ones, I read volumes 1 and 2 of Honey Blood. And then I also read volume 0 of Honey Blood. So this is by Miko Mitsuki, and this is a vampire romance. So it is an age gap romance. We have a vampire who is hundreds of years old, but has like the body of like somebody in their probably early, I think early 20s is what he's supposed to be, then a high school girl. So if age gap romances are not your thing, then avoid this one. So this is a vampire romance. So Junya is a popular romance writer and he writes romance books about vampires. Wonder where he drew that experience from. Then he meets Hinata, who is a high school girl, and they have kind of like a combative relationship at first, but then grow closer. It is very quick, but it is only 2 volumes. There'll be a lot of attacks in the neighborhood that Hinata lives in, and people are wondering if it's a vampire. It's not like vampires are like a known thing in this world. But she ends up meeting Junya, who is this popular romance writer. You know, they get like some sort of like attraction to each other, can't stay away. And so then there's this thing about like if you get a kiss, like a vampire kisses you, then like their life is tied to yours, kind of like enemies to lovers type of thing. And there's this like looming attack and some things from the past that get pulled up. So I think it's pretty good, like as far as like romance, like vampire romances go. It's definitely short, so it feels very quick, but I did have a pretty good time reading it. I don't know what it is with me. I am like not a vampire person, but I have so much vampire manga. I don't know what is going on with me. Then we have volume 0, and volume 0 is really confusing, but basically volume 0 is a combination of side stories to the main 2-volume series, and then also the original one-shot that is the 2-volume series is based off of. And the one-shot has a different sort of premise than the like series. So the one-shot has Hinata being like a fan of Junya's. It's less enemies to lovers and more of like fan becomes lover type of thing. I feel like I like the vibe of the main story versus the original one-shot, but it was still interesting to read to see kind of like how an idea develops into a longer story. If you like vampire age gaps, then Honey Blood might be good for you. But I had a pretty good time reading this, but I feel like if you don't like age gaps and you don't like vampires, like don't read this. Now, we have Lovesick Ellie volume 4. Oh my god, I love this series so much. So in volume 4, we kind of like introduce maybe like the second male lead a little bit, but like with a lot of love triangles, you know that like they're not going to pose any sort of competition. I really enjoyed this volume. There's a lot of stuff that's kind of like Omi-kun giving Ellie like some self-confidence. Yeah, so like, you know, Omi is saying like, is it wrong to say you look fine? Like, and you can try again with other like remedial classes and stuff like that, and just being like generally supportive. So I really like that about him. Ellie continues to be hilarious and like the embodiment of my chronically online self. Like the artwork in this, like spoilers, but like the artwork in this is beautiful. I love this series so much. Volume 4, such a treat. We love Lovesick Ellie in this house. I'm so glad they printed this. Now on the other side of things, shoujo manga that I did not like, we have Imakoi volume 2. The first volume of Imakoi is really cute. I like Satomi's like kind of gung-ho nature towards like finding love and confessing her feelings and like going after what she wants. And volume 2 started out good, and then they introduced the sister. So we have Yagyu's sister, and she has a brother complex, and it's very creepy and very possessive and very gross, and it just like took the whole series like she was at like a 9, and it's at like a 4 now. It's not great. I don't like the introduction of the sister character, just like really kind of ruined this cute series. I will read the rest of it, but just know this has a sister complex character, and it is not great. Really kind of ruined this series for me a little bit. So super disappointing. I am gonna finish it, but just like know that that's part of the story. And I read the volume 5 of The King's Beast. So the one thing that strikes me about this series is that the art is like absolutely gorgeous. Like every page is beautiful, and it like gets better every single volume. Like it's amazing. I like the like kind of political intrigue, the secrets, and finding out, you know, like who killed Rangetsu's brother and why. Like very intriguing. Definitely can't wait to read more of this. I have volume 6, haven't read it yet, but just like if you just want to look at like beautiful like fantasy art, like this is it. It's so good. The story is also like very compelling too. Lots of action, lots of like kind of like politics and secrets, murder mystery type of thing. Really, really great. And then we have like the 2 staples. Like these are always, I always have these on pre-order, but I read volume 36 of Yona of the Dawn. So this one I feel like really focused on Hawk and like his struggle. I love Hawk. He is one of my favorite manga characters of all time. He is so complex, and he has so many like kind of conflicting, battling emotions in him. Like he wants to be able to protect everyone, and he's gonna do everything that he can to protect like his friends and like his family now. But it's the question of who is gonna protect Hawk and what is gonna happen when Hawk gets in trouble. If he stretches himself too thin, how is he going to be able to protect the people that he loves and also himself? So really, really interesting. Loving the direction that Yona of the Dawn is going. It's excellent. Of course it is. It's Yona of the Dawn. And then we have Snow White with the Red Hair, volume 19. Now volume 19. Oh my god. So, not gonna lie, I used to read scans of this series before it was licensed, and we got up to this point. I read up to a little bit past this point. So I knew this was coming, and I've been waiting for this volume to come out. Because it is the, I am very angry to the characters in this. So, spoilers for Snow White with the Red Hair volume 19. There are bookmarks in the bottom, so you just skip over this if you have not read it because you don't want spoilers, because I'm going to spoil it. Okay, are you gone? Good. Mitsuhide, what the fuck? I understand. Like, so basically he rejects, Kiki is like, I fucking love you and I want to marry you. And Mitsuhide's like, sorry, I am too dedicated to the job. And he rejects her. And like, I understand his feelings. Like, you know, not everybody can like get paired up in a bow, packaged bow, pretty bow, but like Mitsuhide, what the fuck, man? And like Kiki is just like fine with it. Like her heart probably got shattered into a million pieces when Mitsuhide was like, nah, I don't think I could do my job properly if I was like married and fell in love. So I respect you and I love you, Kiki, as a partner, but I don't want to marry you. I don't want to marry anybody. And Kiki is the strongest woman in the world because she got decimated and she's fine. I mean, she's probably not fine with it. She's gonna continue with the way things have been, and just like, it's so beautiful. Like, look at this. Mitsuhide is just like, thanks. This is the only, I understand the reasons, but it's not the way I wanted things to turn out. And Mitsuhide is my favorite character in this manga too. He does, love her, but, not in, I am gonna get married to you. Just, it's so It's so beautiful, but I'm so mad at my beautiful himbo. And Hisame is like, I'm gonna snatch her up, like, and Mitsuhide's like, I'm gonna have to be fine with that. I love the dynamic between like Hisame and Mitsuhide. They are such like opposites, but their rivalry like just gives them so much more depth to their characters. Like this, so good, so good. Like even the cover of this is so good. You just have like Kiki being beautiful, and then you just have like Hisame and like Mitsuhide's pose in the background. So good. It means so much. It's beautiful, except I'm very mad at you, Mitsuhide. But that's my Snow White with the Red Hair rant. Please feel free to talk to me about Mitsuhide at any point, at any time. I will always talk about Mitsuhide. What else did I read? I read some digital manga. So I read volumes 1 and 2 of this digital series called Nighttime for Just Us Two. This is by Maki Miyoshi, and this is a really cute, like kind of like heartfelt series. It is about this girl who's very lonely. She doesn't have any friends. Her family treats her pretty badly. Her sister is like really mean to her. And she is like wandering around at night because she's lonely, you know? And she runs into the popular boy at school, but he's not quite the popular boy at school. He says he's possessed by an alien. It's like every time the boy goes to sleep, the alien takes over. So it's about the two of them and dealing with this body switching thing. And the boy, I can't remember his name, I feel so bad, is not happy about the situation because he's like, she's like, no, the alien is nice, the alien is nice. Like, he's like, how do you know that? Just because he told you? Like, you don't know anything about this alien, you don't know what he's doing. So he does not have a very good view of this like body swapping thing. They kind of like come to an agreement, and there's a fake dating thing in there because the girl is the only body who knows about the alien. And it's also about like combating their loneliness. I mean, as I said, the main girl, I can't remember any of their names, I'm so sorry, but the main girl is really lonely. She doesn't have any friends. Her family treats her poorly, and so we have this boy who has kind of this like aggressive, not like aggressive, but he's not like the nicest kid towards her, but he kind of sees her, like he's the only one who has remembered her name. So you see that he has been paying attention to her in some way. And I think they might have known each other previously, or at least you think they have. So you kind of see them kind of like develop this relationship and kind of like getting through her loneliness. And then there's this added like wackiness with this alien body switching subplot. So it's really funny. It seems like it's just kind of like a ridiculous manga in the beginning, but then you get kind of like these harder hitting themes of kind of like loneliness and finding people to like comfort you in life and to like walk with you in life. And it's really, really sweet. I think there's only one more volume. I don't know if it's out yet, but it is really, really cute, and I definitely recommend you pick it up. The art is so adorable too. Like, I love it. So then I read volumes 1 through 3 of Sweat and Soap. These are all upside down. This is a seinen romance. So it's an adult romance. It's I mean, this is very popular. A lot of people really like this. It's a little bit spicy. It's actually definitely spicy, so 18 plus. This is really popular. A lot of people do it. I have a whole vlog on my thoughts on this. And if it is out by the time you see this, then it will be up here. If not, stay tuned. But I really liked this series, so I'm definitely gonna collect more of it. But yeah, so wait for the vlog for extra thoughts on Sweat and Soap, but really, really liked it. And then I read volumes 1 and 2 of Devil's Line. This is another seinen romance, another vampire manga, but Devil's Line is so good. I watched the anime for this, and I love the anime. I recently rewatched the anime just because I wanted the vibes, but it's so good. So we have Tsukasa, who is a college student, and she has a run-in with a vampire. I'm not gonna spoil it because it was kind of shocking to me, but she has a run-in with a vampire. We have Anzai, who is a cop. Anzai is a vampire, or he's half vampire, and he works with like this special unit in the police department who kind of like go after vampires. Not a lot of people know that vampires are around, so they're kind of like an undercover type of thing. So it's about their relationship and kind of like the world finding out about vampires. I guess I'll go with that. Really, really great. I love the anime, and there was so much of the anime that I wanted more of that I need to read the manga. So this actually gets you through like a lot of the anime. Like definitely the first several episodes of the anime. Can't wait to read more of the manga. I love it so much. It's like kind of spicy, which is really great. Can't wait to get to more of that. So 3 more digital manga. I read volumes 1 and 2 of The Story of Our Unlikely Love, and this is by Sora Mizuki. So this is only a 2-volume series, and it is really cute. So it's kind of like an enemies to lovers or like a butting heads type of thing. Really great kind of like high school romance about like a girl who is an overachiever and a guy who is a slacker. Or she's not really an overachiever, she's just kind of like says yes to everyone. So she meets this guy who is a slacker, and he basically helps her say no to people and to get people to stop taking advantage of her. And it was really, really fun to read. I liked their dynamic, kind of like this butting heads type of thing. 2 very different types of people, like opposites attract sort of thing. Really, really fun. The art is really, really cute, so loved that one. So read Defying Kurosaki-kun volume 19. This is the last volume, and you know I am obsessed with Defying Kurosaki-kun. I loved the end of this series. Really, really great. You have our main character kind of think about her own path in life and whether or not that involves Kurosaki-kun, and whether or not that involves doing the same thing as Kurosaki-kun. So really, really great. Loved it. I loved seeing like kind of the transformation that Kurosaki-kun went through this whole series, from being like really closed off and mean to just like smiling and laughing like the whole time. The beginning of the volume didn't turn out too great. It seemed, it was a little bit confusing, but it kind of seemed like maybe he was forcing himself on her a little bit. It was really confusing actually. So the beginning of the volume didn't really hit well with me, but I also don't really understand what was happening. I just think it wasn't laid out, the situation wasn't laid out very well. So that was pretty much the only negative, but overall I really, really loved Defying Kurosaki-kun. It definitely isn't for everyone because it has this kind of like aggressive, like male lead. Like Kurosaki-kun is like not nice all the time, but really, really great. I definitely want to imprint. It needs to get out of digital jail because I feel like a lot of people would really like it. Okay, so apologies for the drastic change in video quality and angle, but my camera died and I don't want to wait around for it to charge before I finish filming this video because I have things to do today. Yeah, Defying Kurosaki-kun, definitely one of my favorites. Really recommended to anybody who likes kind of like a combative type of couple, like kind of like Story of Our Unlikely Love. So yeah, really enjoyed Defying Kurosaki-kun, one of my favorites. So the last bit of manga is actually a whole series that I read in one night. I don't know what was going on with me, but I read a whole series in one night. So I read all of O Maidens in Your Savage Season. So this is an 8-volume series. This is a seinen series, and it is about a group of high school girls that are kind of discovering their sexuality. So both in like sexuality, like what type of person they prefer, and then also sexuality and like learning about like sex and relationships and how they want to experience those things and who they want to experience those things with and their like own personal relationship with it. Very, very good. It definitely opens with like these girls in this book, in this literature club, just like straight up like reading erotica out loud in their club room. So that kind of sets the tone for the whole series, but I feel like this is an incredibly wonderful coming of age story. I feel like it's a very like raw and realistic kind of approach to like how teenagers discover their like own sexuality, I guess, of like love and relationships, that sort of stuff. Some kind of like, I don't want to say like graphic sexual content because not really, but it does discuss sex in a very frank way, I would guess. Kind of like how kind of growing up and having all of these different kinds of like sexual feelings and stuff like that kind of affect your friendships and how you view the world and that sort of thing. Really, really great series. Really loved that it really focused on the 4 female characters. So I feel like we don't get a lot of these kind of like really frank discussions of discovering your sexuality from female characters. I will say there are a few things in here in this series that might not be great for other people. There are some kind of like suspect things with an adult and child, so there's no like actual acts done really, and you kind of, there's a whole storyline with it, but just know that though there is sort of there's 2 different kinds of relationships actually. There's a student and a teacher relationship, but the teacher is not like the teacher from Daytime Shooting Star. I mean, there are some moments where he should probably go to jail, but overall, no jail. There is another adult male character that is kind of questionable with his feelings towards young children and some of our female characters, or one of our female characters. But overall, I feel like, so just trigger warnings for that. But overall, it's really, really good. Only a 16 plus series. I wouldn't say 18 plus because I feel like these are all like very they're things that teenagers go through, you know, they're thoughts that teenagers have and things that happen to them. They didn't happen to me when I was a teenager, but it's things that happen to teenagers. So I feel like 16 plus is a really appropriate kind of age for this thing because it's about the experiences that 16-year-olds have. So yeah, really, I really highly recommend Oh Maidens in Your Savage Season. I think there's a movie for this too, which will be really interesting. But yeah, really like this series. Had a great time in the one night that I read it all in. There were 2 more manga that I read at the very end of the month. So I read volumes 6 and 7 of Sand Chronicles. I do not have them physically. I actually read them at the manga library at Otakon. So they just have like a room with a bunch of manga that you can just read at any time. You can't buy it, you can't remove it from the room or anything like that, but you can read it. So I figured since those volumes are really, really difficult to read or to find, I would read them there. So volume 6 and volume 7 of Sand Chronicles like ripped my heart out. I was trying not to like cry in the middle of this room with other people reading manga, but it really did that to me. Like I really wanted to cry reading Sand Chronicles 6 and 7. Not gonna put too many spoilers because it is the middle of the series, but Sand Chronicles does go throughout this girl's life, so it kind of like jumps and you get kind of like pivotal moments in this girl's life. Just like incredibly heartbreaking. It's about like love and relationships, but it's also about like overcoming grief and that sort of thing, and it's just really, really beautiful, and I can't wait to read the rest of Sand Chronicles. That's everything that I read in June and July. Maybe middle of the road for what I normally read. Definitely read a lot in these 2 months, but I feel like June I didn't read a lot, but I was also like sick most of June. Let me know in the comments if you have read any of these, if you want to talk about them. You can always message me on Twitter, that sort of thing. What have you read recently? I would be interested to know. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more manga content from me. That is all I've got for you guys today. I'm Christy Lou. Till next time, matane!